Alright, production delays be darned, I am back to blogging. So, today I will introduce a new segment entitled Admit-1. See, Admit-1, face-to-face, face for radio. I'm putting a lot of thought into these number puns, so you should watch them as I do them. It will be quite amusing. So, eventually for archival purposes, I will go back and re-record some of the reviews that I have written down, and I'll put a reference list for those that really want a video upon request. All of my fan base of 20 people. You're a very loyal 20. Anyway, so since I've gone throughout the trouble of composing myself, I might as well start with an easy film. Alleviate some pressure. And that easy film will be Conan the Barbarian, which is... oh, I can have a lot of fun with this because the filmmakers didn't. I guess you can call this a telling depiction of a very two-dimensional man's quest to find himself, but that's just the very universal base story. Everything else in the film kind of goes through the motions, from the lackluster gore to every other plot contrivance that would just be too plentiful to list. However, it is my self-appointed duty to tell you about this film as a reviewer. So, here we go. Personally, I'd rather have watched a couple episodes of Game of Thrones and called it a night, but I always feel like watching Game of Thrones, so I didn't think anything of it. I just gave this film the benefit of the doubt and went out and watched it. And, I'm glad I did. No, I'm not. After being cut from his mother's womb, we can just tell that Conan's got a rough road ahead of him. Yeah, we see him as a boy. He can fight like a man. He really can. He's trying so hard to fit into society. People tell him to maim and murder, but no one tells him how much. It weighs heavily on his mind. All that becomes irrelevant when some strangers roll into town. After the time skip, the story doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about revenge. So, Conan is now a man running amongst pirates, and he liberates people for a living while killing people. Yeah, we're gonna forget the hypocrisy here, but yeah, he breaks into a couple of prison camps and realizes the identity of the guy who killed his father, which also happened back in the village. Yes. He left him with a very lame death ultimatum that left him with a couple of scars, figurative and literal. Not all that amusing. I'd really like to tell you the main villain's name, but the diction in this film is kinda terrible. It's not even in West End accents. That's the thing. Most of them are speaking in American accents and American dialects, which is kind of embarrassing. I can't understand half of the complicated and contrived names of this mythical world. But that doesn't matter. Our main villain is now looking for a very specific red-headed ginger inbred. And yeah. So he ransacks a bunch of monasteries with his mutant witch daughter and yeah, killing so many people. Surprise, surprise, the pureblood everyone's looking for is an elfishly hot woman. So, of course, Conan is interested. So, he steals her away, and we spend a lot of the time chasing each other, and that's the good part of the middle part of the film. Yeah. Anyway, the banter between Conan and pure-blooded Tamara is kind of interesting, and it hints at a greater intelligence that the film was capable of, but it seems that they abandoned it somewhere along the line. Now, for the final showdown of finality and awesomeness, Tamara is captured, again, for no good reason, really. She just wanders around in the woods and, woo, you're captured. So, yeah, we cut her, and we realize that the amount of blood necessary for this bone crown to be activated, you know, you could have asked nicely and just gotten it in about a month. Loaded up with a Playtex worth of magical blood, the king is ready to kill some stuff. He, well, apparently the crown makes him a crappy sword fighter, because the final showdown is, like, worlds different from their first encounter. Conan and the King, where Conan just got pistol whipped, and pistols weren't invented yet. So, yeah, he's clamoring with Conan's birthright sword, which I guess if there was actually memory of it, it would be interesting. And if Conan, I don't know, if there were some emotional subtext, it would have been interesting. However, it's a sword fight. A sword fight is a sword fight. Swap swords, and oh no, Tamara's almost possessed. Conveniently kill the king, and yeah. I wish I could have added some prose or finesse to that, but there was no prose or finesse in the story. Yeah. So on a less cynical note, future reviews will not be as snarky, but this film kind of disrespected our intelligence on every level, so it deserved some crassness. As the story winds down, Conan basically hits it and quits it by dropping Tamara off at her homeland, which was a decree from her old master who is now slaughtered, but it kind of makes you wonder, is that necessary? Because everyone is dead. Literally everyone is dead. Everyone involved, but Conan and Tamara and the pirate, are dead. Anyway, that's Conan. Helps next.